Hello everyone and welcome back to another video from Homemaker. Before I start with our today's video, I would like to thank all our viewers who have liked and subscribed to our channel. And if you are new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe for our new releases every week. So let's get started with our today's video. Today we'll be talking about the propagation, and I'll also be going through some of the care tips of Dracaena Massangeana or corn plant. So friends, this plant is also known as dragon plant. It's also known as Mars cane and also happy plant. So many names of this one plant. You can call it whatever you want. So this plant belongs to Propagation family, and it is a tropical plant which belongs to the tropics of America and Africa. So this plant is considered an excellent air purifier according to NASA's clean air study, and all varieties of Dracaena, including corn plant and other varieties that I've talked in the past, are an excellent air purifier. They have proved to be removing the toxic air pollutants such as formaldehyde, xylene, toluene, benzene, carbon monoxide, etc. from the indoor air, and also some of the pollens and molds from the air. So which makes this plant a very beneficial house plant and a must-have plant for every household. So the plant that you are seeing in front of me, it's actually a cutting that I took, I can say, 2 months ago. I took it in September, which was the start of spring season here in Australia, and now it's November. So I'll just show you how it has been. So this is a root development that you can see after 2 months, and you can tell that this plant is the roots are quite well developed and it has been doing really great. So what I did was I just took a cutting from the mother plant. So you can decide how long cutting you want. I would suggest you to take a shorter one, because the longer the cutting, the more time it's going to take to give out the roots. So take a shorter cutting. So when you take the cutting, make sure you remove the lower leaves and just leave some of the leaves on the top, like this one, just the flower shape on the top, that's it, and remove the lower leaves and just place it in water. So I had just propagated these cuttings in plain water. So I took 3 cuttings and all 3 of them have propagated beautifully and given out massive roots, as you all can see here. So what I'll be doing today is I will be putting these cuttings into the pot, and while I do that, I'll be going through some of the care tips of Dracaena Massangeana. So let's get started. So friends, starting with the soil conditions, this is the soil in front of me. So basically Dracaena or dragon plants, they prefer a slightly acidic soil. For that you can use coco peat or coco coir. In front of me is coco coir that I've got, and it is mixed up with some compost. I have used organic mushroom compost. You can take whatever compost you want. You can also add worm castings to it or vermiculite if you want. And if you don't have coco coir or coco peat, you can also use the potting mix. Make sure that it's an organic potting mix, because the roots of these plants are very sensitive to any sort of chemicals. So make sure that it is organic, it's free from any chemicals, and that's it. So I'll be using coco coir mixed with compost, and I have also added some coarse sand. So here, instead of perlite, make sure you add coarse sand, because perlite contains some superphosphates which can be harmful for the roots of these plants. So it's best to use coarse sand, and it serves the same purpose as that of perlite. It will help in the drainage and aeration of the roots. So add the same to your soil, mix it, give it a good mix. And so when you are selecting the pot, make sure that the pot has got enough of drainage holes, because if the pot does not have enough of drainage holes, the soil or the plant is going to sit in the soggy soil, and these plants are very susceptible to develop root rot. So make sure that the pot is airy, it has got enough of drainage holes, and your soil mix is well draining soil mix with enough of coarse sand in it and cocoa peat. So when we are talking about the soil, make sure that you do not add any sort of chemical fertilizers in it, because these plants, as I told before, that these plants are very sensitive to any sort of chemical. If you want to use a fertilizer, only use homemade fertilizers or any chemical free indoor fertilizer, a weak dilution of indoor fertilizer, and fertilize them just once in spring season and once in summer season. That's it. Twice in a year is enough for them. These plants do not like a lot of fertilizer in their soil. You can also leach your soil in spring and summer season once in a month. So now leaching is done to make sure that the salts, fertilizer salts, do not sit in the soil for a long time because of the sensitivity of the roots towards phosphates, chlorides, fluorides, bromides, and all those sorts of chemicals. So leach them. What do you have to do is take your plant outside and shower it with lots and lots of water. Pour lots and lots of water in your pot to make sure that all those salts and chemicals are washed away. So that is called leaching. So when we are talking about leaching, we talk about the water conditions. So these plants do not like to sit in a soggy soil. Keep the soil moist but not soggy, because overwatering can cause root rot, and these plants are very susceptible to root rot, and the roots are very, very sensitive. So make sure you do not overwater this plant. Water these plants only when the topsoil dries out, and the best option is to stick your finger up to a knuckle into the soil like that. And if you feel that the soil is moist, then you do not water the plant. If you feel that the soil is completely dry up to a knuckle or maybe more than that, then please go ahead and water your plant. Do not overwater these plants. And also make sure that you use filtered water or rainwater or distilled water for your Dracaenas, because of the fluorides and chlorides present in the normal tap water, which can affect the roots of these plants. And you can see the burns and the browning of the tips of on the plants because of those chemicals present in the water. So make sure you do that. Next is let me just put you up. So next is the lighting conditions. So these plants prefer to be in a brightly lit area. They can also tolerate low light conditions, but long time exposure to a low light environment can cause all these variegations to go away and the plant reverting back to a whole green. And the plant growth will also slow down if you leave them in a low light area for a longer period of time. So make sure that you provide enough of bright indirect light to these plants. Direct sun exposure can cause burns and dry leaves, so just keep it away from direct sun. Next is the temperature. So these plants are basically tropical plants, and they love to be in a temperature ranging between 18 to 22 to 24 degrees Celsius. Any temperature less than 10 degrees Celsius can affect these plants. So if you decide to put these plants outdoor under the patio or somewhere, make sure you bring them inside during the winter season, because they will suffer in very cold temperatures. The leaves can get dry, the crisp, and also the corners can start turning brown. So make sure you bring them inside, provide them with the warm temperatures and warm atmosphere. And basically that is all about these plants. They are very, very easy to care for, and they basically don't need a lot of care. You can even in winters, I can say you can just forget these plants, because they won't need a lot of watering, they don't need fertilizing. You just place them in a brightly lit area and that's it, and these plants will be happy. So friends, this was all about the propagation and potting and care of Dracaena Massangeana, or dragon plant, or Mars cane, or happy plant. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please give us a thumbs up if you liked watching this video, and do subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time. Till then, stay safe. Bye bye.